Folks, welcome to the Contrarian Trader. This is Robert Desmond. Let's begin with the stocks that we're going to be watching this week. The first one's going to be an extreme oversold stock, and that stock is APRI, the symbol, NASDAQ traded stock. Apricus Biosciences appears to be a biotech stock, taking a beating as of late. Huge volume to the downside. It's not quite ready for us to buy yet. I'm definitely interested in it, and more than likely we're going to pull the trigger on this one in the coming week. There are a number of issues in this chart that tell me that the sell-off is going to decline. So if you short this stock, fine, stay short. But as of right now, it's just a watch in mind. I'm not going to short it, nor am I going to buy it right now. It is a watch, and we'll look to add to this during the coming week. Next stock is Apple. My screener is loaded with mostly short stocks. When I do a screen for extreme oversold stocks, I'm only getting APRI. That's interesting. The rest are penny stocks. On the extreme overbought stocks, Apple is up there. Is it ready to be shorted? It's questionable right now. The RSI is at 85, which is technically at extreme overbought levels. The candlesticks are telling us that there is some resistance here. However, there's a reason why I'll be going into this with members later on today when I send out the members commentary as to why it's probably going to head up a bit higher, and it goes with basically the mentality of traders. Now, those who have been reading my blog for some time now, following me on the Contrarian Trader on YouTube, know that we were short of Apple back here. Back during the summer, we shorted it 2 or 3 times. As a matter of fact, we got long of it after one pullback, and we traded it short after we sold out of that position. Why did we get short at that time? Well, you need to go to the weekly chart, because that's what I was looking at, the weekly chart, not the daily chart. And you could see, here's this blue line on the RSI. The RSI was in a downtrend. It wasn't confirming this up move. Then you had the passing of Steve Jobs, which really put a question mark next to the stock and how it would perform. And it continued to make its new highs. It became extremely overbought, and we shorted it, longed it. We made a few nice trades in the stock, but now, once again, it is on our watch list. So I'll be going into these trades in more details with members in the members commentary set to be released today. If you want to watch it, please sign up for the 14-day free trial offer, and I'll get that out to you. Excuse me. Regal Bellowed. This is another stock that we're going to be looking to short. RBC, the symbol, NYSE stock. I believe that it's probably going to see a continuation rally higher in this stock. I don't think it's ready to be bought, shorted just yet. The indicators are telling me that the time to short is fairly close, but as of right now, it's not quite there. And I'm going to be going into, with members, historical support, historical resistance with these stocks, because we want to take a bigger view, not just using a daily chart. We want to look at intraday charts. We want to look at the weekly charts. And if we don't have historical resistance on these short opportunities, we're going to, on the weekly charts, we want to pull back to the monthly charts. We always want to identify where our risk to reward is best placed. Where do we open our positions? Where do we really start averaging into those positions as we near those resistance levels? So those are important, and I'll be going into those with members. CIE, Cobalt International Energy. This one really spiked up high. I believe it was due to the fact it was upgraded on Friday. Huge spike up. I would like to see on this stock, from this candlestick here, I'm not eager to get short of this right away. I would like to see a continuation rally higher. Let it travel more into the extreme overbought range. I'll be going into short interest on these stocks, which will help us decide how aggressive we want to be with our shorting. So we'll take a look at the short interest. We'll take a look at the historical resistance, if there is any historical resistance on the stock. I don't know yet, but I'll be taking a look at those charts later on today. Beautiful inverse head and shoulders formation. Here's your left shoulder, head, right shoulder, your breakout above this neckline here. Beautiful breakout, beautiful chart here. So do I think the stock is going to collapse? No. It's got a beautiful consolidation, beautiful base. It's not going to collapse. Will it correct? Yes. Echostar Holdings, symbol SATS. Again, another extreme overbought trade. Chart is looking good. We might see a continuation rally higher. You could see in this 2-day chart pattern here, indecision. You had topping action on Thursday, which is bearish. The stock reacted on Friday in a bearish way. However, by the end of trade on Friday, it had rallied well off of the bottom of the day, the lows of the day. That's bullish. Even though it closed down lower, that bottoming tail tells us, you know what? Be careful. You have support here. You do not want to go shorting into support. So we want to wait. We'll go over, again, the historical support, historical resistance, how the indicators are looking, how the volume is setting up, and I'll be going into that with members later on. Again, if you want to see my analysis on these stocks, sign up for the 14-day free trial offer. Next stock. Cedar Fair LP, symbol FUN, F-U-N. This is an NYSE stock, I believe. Yes, it is. This is a stock that's at resistance, but my first sense tells me about this stock that we just might see a spike higher on Monday. I'm really only going to be able to be definitive on that when I take a look at the intraday charts for the week ahead commentary. So I'm going to leave that out there, that the probability of seeing a spike is possible. Selling into that spike is quite conceivable. I just went over a number of stocks, which are, one was an extreme oversold stock. The others are extreme overbought stocks. Now, you might be saying, you're nuts, man. That extreme oversold stock looks like it's going lower. I would agree with you there. However, I think we're closer to the bottom than you might think that we are. And it provides us an opportunity from a risk to reward perspective to get long of the stock. I went over a number of other stocks like Apple and FUN that are showing us the opportunity to get short. And again, you might be saying, these stocks look strong. They only look like they're going to go up. You see, as a contrarian, that's telling me to begin to look to the short side. Now, my screeners, if you go back to last week's blog, you'll see all these stocks that I went over last week that looked like they couldn't go down either. The first one was Dun & Bradstreet, symbol DNB. I spoke about it when it was up here. I said that this was going to be a short. And take a look. It got hammered last week. And I had members that traded this stock. I didn't get involved with this one. Unfortunately, I should have at this topping tail here. But I was too late. One or two of my members weren't too late, and they caught this to the downside. What value did I provide my members? I brought it to their attention that it was a good possibility of this stock declining. TZA. I spoke about it last week that it was going to provide us an opportunity to get long. Sure enough, what did it do? We got long. We're now long of it, but we were buying it back here at the bottoms. Now the risk to reward is not as good as it was last week, but we have a profit. Now we can put in a trailing stop loss order and get out with no loss whatsoever as long as it doesn't gap down past our stop price. Real Networks. Again, last week, this is an extreme overbought stock. I mentioned this stock is probably going to decline. Sure enough, we had a decline last week. Does it mean it's going to collapse and go to zero? No, of course not. But as a trade, a swing trade, it was a good opportunity to get short. Metro Bancorp, another one. I mentioned it last week. Look at this topping tail here. This is still a short. But you really needed to get involved with this trade back here when I was talking about it. REGN Pharmaceuticals, another one. Seagate Technologies, another one. And they just keep coming and coming. RJet, that one corrected last week. I was talking about it back here. And look at it now. Last one, I believe, is Zimmer Holdings. This is a good one. Now I'm looking at Zimmer. I'm saying, you know what? Zimmer looks good here. We had the pullback. This is a swing trade. You're not going to bet that the stock is going to go to zero. The stock is in a bullish uptrend. You have all your moving averages moving in the right place. You have the 50-day set to cross above the 150-day. Then it'll attempt to cross above the 200-day moving average. the stock is pulled back. You had your topping tail here. This is your signal to get short of this stock. Your nice pullback. You made a few dollars. Take your profits. Get out. This bottoming tail here should have been your signal to get out. Take your profits and look to get long. As long as it holds a $60 per share level, the stock is telling you it wants to go higher. I received an email from a member, and I thought I'd share this with everyone last week. I received a couple of emails. One was, how did you know the market was petering out? One was that I was taking a look at the Dow Jones Industrials, and I believe in the Dow theory. The Dow theory says that if the Dow is making new highs, and this is your bull market here from the summer lows, the Dow Transports ought to be confirming that move higher. Overlaid here in black, you'll see an overlay of the Dow Jones Industrials. And you can see as the Dow Jones Industrials moved higher, the Dow Transports were petering out. They weren't confirming the move higher. Let's go back to the Dow Jones Industrials, and you'll see the stochastics are very, very extended. The MACD has actually turned negative. So my indicators are telling me the stock is tired. The index is tired. We have topping action here at the 12.9 level. So more than likely, especially with all the screeners that I run, telling me that there's a vastly disproportionate amount of stocks that are short opportunities versus long. Whenever I've seen that in the past, it's indicative of a market ready to correct. The next question I received, how did I know it was time to take profits on Texas Instruments? That's a great question. We took profits back here on Texas Instruments. How did I know to do that? You had topping action on Texas. You see this topping tail here. I told us at the end of the day, you had sellers come in and they were taking profits off the table. We bought it back here. So we made a nice swing trade, a couple of days' work. The other thing I was looking at was how were the semiconductors overall doing? And if you take a look at the weekly charts, again, I look at the broad picture, not just the daily or intraday charts. That's for suckers. You want to take a look at your weekly charts and bring that into your trading philosophy. You need to keep in mind where the sellers are, and these resistance levels tell you where the sellers are. So you had the SMH, the semiconductors holders, that were at resistance at $35 per share. Texas Instruments, I saw sellers coming into. You had the overall sector at resistance, Texas at resistance, sellers coming in. I had a profit. Why bother gambling when we should just take the money and move to the sidelines, which is what we did. And sure enough, the stock pulled back, and I'm happy we took those profits. Now we can look to get back in if we'd like to at a better risk-to-reward profile, at a cheaper price. And that's what we do here. That's what we do. We look for the best risk-reward profile, great entry points. We take our profits off the table, and we move to the sidelines. And we look for unpopular stocks. Everybody loves Apple. Everybody. Except right now, you need to start to looking to get short of this stock. The charts are screaming, sell me. However, there's only one problem that most shorts are going to have. They are looking only at maybe the RSI, or they're looking at the Stokes. They're not taking, which are overbought, but they could stay overbought. You need to look at the short interest of the stock. You need to take it to weekly charts for historical resistance, monthly charts for historical resistance. You might be saying, aha, Bob, there is no historical resistance for this stock. And you're 1,000% right, which means that it's all the more trickier to find the proper spot to short Apple. There is no overhead supply. There is no historical resistance. So you need to use a number of different variables. I'm going to go into them with members in the week ahead commentary. So if you want to hear them, sign up for the 14-day free trial offer. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email. Folks, if you're watching me on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel so you get a notification when I send out a new video. And if you're watching this on the blog, please sign up for my Contrarian Report newsletter list, and you'll be notified when I make these videos. All others, please sign up for the 14-day free trial offer. If you have any questions, again, shoot me an email. Have a great, great trading week, folks. Bye-bye.